Today on Comicstorian, we're going to see the aftermath of the Turtles fighting against themselves and Leonardo being brainwashed to mess with them. This is the Comicstorian channel where I take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Basically, I read them dramatically back to you and then I cut out all the extra fluff so that you know the bare bones plot, but there's still something to go out there and collect. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Today is going to be a return here at Comicstorian. 5 years ago, I ran a series in which I covered some of my favorite not DC and Marvel comic books, and one of them was a continual series involving the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is a part of the amazing IDW storylines that they did for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But after Leonardo was brainwashed and battled against his brothers and Splinter, and a big final battle happened in the city, we stopped telling this story. Well, now I've decided it's time to get back and tell you the entire 25-volume history of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, picking up with Volume 8, which picks up in the aftermath of Leo betraying his brothers due to brainwashing. He's now aware of what he was doing. Shredder is out looking for the Turtles now that they've defeated him, and they have had to flee into the countryside to heal up from the battle. I'll link those original old videos down below. And if you want to get early access to our stuff, make sure you join our Patreon over at patreon.com/comicstorian, or our YouTube members program where you also get early access. But let's get into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 8. After the battle within the city, with Leo's mind now clear as to what he was doing, with Splinter injured, with Shredder looking for them, they all begin to head towards the old O'Neill farm. As they arrive, the Turtles get out stretching their limbs from their prior battle, and they leave Splinter and Leo sleeping within the van as April shows them inside. "This is where you'll be staying," she tells them, sliding the doors open to reveal the relatively clean barn within. "At least it ain't underground," Raph notes, looking around, and April hopes that they'll be comfortable, but she doesn't think that her parents will understand her showing up with 4 turtles and a giant rat. "Don't worry, April. This works great, thanks," Donnie tells her with a smile. Working together, April and Donnie begin to pull down all of the camping gear that the brothers are going to need until they go back outside to get the rest of their stuff out of the van, along with Leo and Splinter. "I hope that just being here helps Leo get better. He's still messed up. One second he remembers us, and then the next second his brainwashing is back and he's our worst enemy." Mikey notes to Donnie, who explains that Leo's behavior is consistent with brainwashing. "Shredder seriously got into his head somehow. We're gonna have to keep an eye on him and watch for relapses, stuff like that," Donnie explains, reaching into the van, and the 2 brothers help Master Splinter out, supporting his broken leg from when Shredder stomped on it. Raph goes in next, gently trying to wake up Leo, but Leo wakes in a rage, lashing out at his brother. Whoa, chill, bro, it's me, Raph, remember," Raph tells him, pushing Leo back, and Leo seems confused, trying to get his bearings, and he finally seems to remember Raph, but pushes past him, wanting to get out of the van. Raph watches as his brother pushes out into the surrounding woods, but suddenly is surprised as he sees a furry ninja stalking the tree line. "Oh, hell no!" he shouts, throwing his sai into the tree above the ninja's head. Raph pulls free his second sai, leaping at the creature, tackling her to the ground. "Stinking mutt! Are you trying to ambush us?" he snarls, his sai inches from the fox's face. "No, you're wrong. I don't want to fight," she pleads, when suddenly Leo leaps in, kicking Raph off the ninja. He stands over his brother, blocking the turtle's way to Aeoplex. "Back off! She said she doesn't want to fight," he snarls, and the others rush back outside, shocked at what they see, while Leo's defending Aloplex, pointing out that she is hurt. "Yeah? Well, a lot of us are hurting right now, but only one of us is a Foot Clan scum. Unless..." Raph growls angrily, and Leo leans in. "Unless what?" "I don't know, bro. You tell me. You're the one still protecting Shredder's flea bag." And Leo leaps at his brother in anger, tackling Raph to the ground. Mikey and Donnie rushing over, pulling their brothers off of each other. They all begin to yell at each other before they are stopped by a harsh call from Master Splinter. "Enough," he snaps. Raph tries to argue, but is silenced by their father. "Do as I say and stand down. Aloplex is obviously alone and outnumbered. Miss O'Neill graciously invited us to this place in order to provide us with a much-needed sanctuary. I will not have you offending our host and dishonoring ourselves by continuing the conflict that we are attempting to leave behind," he tells them, and the brothers agree. with Aloplex continuing to stand behind them. Splinter turns to the fox, telling her that he too is curious as to why she followed them. He will give her a chance to explain since she intervened during his battle with Oroku Saki. She nods, telling them that even though they hate her, they know what happened after she attacked the Shredder. But I wasn't able to kill him, so I knew I had to escape. She explains, and she saw the turtles leaving and decided to follow, knowing that she was dead to the foot. She decided that if the foot wanted her dead, they would have to follow her first. I don't care if you think I'm lying. I really don't want to fight, not anymore. She tells them, and Donnie asks her why she attacked the Shredder in the first place. Why did she betray the Foot Clan and defend the turtles in the end? Aloplex explains that he killed her family, but Raph doesn't believe her. She's telling the truth. I know she is. Leo snaps at him, and once again, Splinter yells at them, "Stop! Save your commands, Yoshi. You're not my master anymore." The group watches as Leo says those words and disappears into the forest. Finally, Splinter turns to Aloplex, telling her that he is honor-bound to her since she saved his life, and will honor a truce between them. Doesn't matter. I don't need your honor or your help, she says, turning and also walking into the woods. April and Casey turn to each other, finally having to leave to go say hi to her parents. But as they're getting into the van, Donnie apologizes for the drama between everyone. April tells them not to worry about it, and Casey tells Raph that he and April are dating now. I'm not saying much about it though. I don't want it to go too fast. Yeah, nothing says going slow, Casey, like meeting her parents. They leave the turtles behind, driving back to April's parents' house. As April and Casey begin their usual greetings of meeting her parents, April's mother is glad that they called and came, especially when they heard about what happened to Stock Gen. April is shocked as her mother explains that Stock Gen, the company, is gone. Completely gone. Meanwhile, in the dark, Leonardo stands by a small lake, images of his time with the Foot flashing before his eyes. Facing off against a raft, training with Shredder, yet he also hears his mother's voice. My child, when you have found what you have lost, you will also find the answer to your questions. He hears her say, and Leo falls to his knees beside the water, calling out to her. Mother, where are you? I need you, please, I'm so confused. Meanwhile, over in the barn, Raph sits in the dark, unable to sleep. Mikey is out cold, while Donnie continues to read. And unknown to them, Leo sits by the water in the dark with Aloplex hiding in the shadows, watching him. As she is watching, Raph is suddenly behind her, his sigh at her throat. Let's go, Mutt. Don't make a sound. He hisses at her, marching her away from Leo, finally pushing her. A little hunting before bed? But the fox turns back to him, sadness in her eyes. I wasn't hunting. Then what? Seems every time I see you, you're sneaking around. Raph tells her, reminding her that she might have fooled everyone else, but not him. Believe what you want, turtle, she hisses, beginning to walk away, but he grabs her by the arm, telling her that she can't leave until she tells him what she was doing out there. She snaps at him, but finally explains that she wanted to thank Leo for defending her. You want me to buy that? She explains that she doesn't care if he buys it. I know what it's like having Shredder in your head, twisting every thought, every emotion. I know how Leonardo is feeling, and I was making sure that he was all right, that he wouldn't hurt himself. She explains, and she tells him that she and Leonardo are alone, but finally, she walks away as Raph lets her. Back at the barn, Donnie is also feeling sadness for being away from what he loves, helping set Splinter's leg. He begins to talk about how he still needs to figure out how to defeat the Technodrome and Kang, but he doesn't have the proper equipment or the paperwork, and Splinter doesn't seem to be listening. So finally, Donnie walks away. Back with Leo, he's wandering through the forest, just confused, trying to figure out what he's going to do until finally there's a bright light in his face. My child, cease your struggles, you have found me, Mother states, looking at her child, and Leo begins to cry, falling to his knees. Why do you weep, my beautiful son? She tells him, leaning down. Walking together, she points out the areas of this bright and safe land. Have you found what you've lost? I think so, I don't know. There are those who took me and saved me, but I don't recognize them. I mean, I know they're my brothers, my father, but they seem like strangers, like ghosts, he tells her. Yet they are real, and all love you deeply. You would not be here now if not for them. You have found what you have lost, and you only need to proceed slowly now and not allow yourself to be overwhelmed. She points ahead as a path opens up before them and tells Leo that the new path awaits for him to take the first step. Someone is calling his name, and Mother tells him that she is needed elsewhere. She drifts away. Leo nods. I'm ready. Suddenly, he sits back up from his dream with Donnie shaking him. and Leo smiles at his brother. Meanwhile, back at the O'Neill house, April's mother finishes telling them about the top secret projects involving ooze that her father worked on at Stockton. They go on discussing the ooze and the experiments on animals that her father did, and April explains that she knew a little bit about it, promising no more secrets between her and her parents. And then she looks back at Casey, realizing that there are 4 giant turtles and a rat in the local barn. Back over in the woods, Donnie pulls Leo to his feet, asking why he was mumbling about their mother and ghosts. Do you still dream about her? Yeah, it's totally crazy, huh? 6 months ago, probably, but now not so much, Donnie admits, telling Leo that everything that they've been through, he's starting to believe that there is more to destiny and fate than he thought. Sometimes I feel like we're all caught up in some cosmic momentum. You just gotta hang in there and know that we got your back. Thanks, Donnie. Leo smiles. Donnie thinks for a moment and then offers to let Leo come back and help him with the Technodrome, give Leo a purpose. The whole thing is just so big and complicated. I'm trying not to let it overwhelm me, but I'm afraid I can't do it. And Leo looks at his brother. You're gonna do it, Don, trust me. You might not see the entire path you're supposed to follow yet, but if you take the first step, you'll start to see where you need to go clearer. Meanwhile, over in the barns, Master Splinter is seeing a strong light in his dreams, and before him is Shen, his loving wife. He turns away from her, asking her to look away. I am ashamed for you to see me this way, a rat, a broken monster. His eyes saddened as she wraps her arms around him. Don't be so foolish, husband. You know as I do that true essence of individual lies within. But Splinter is sad, believing that he has failed as a husband and as a father, that he allowed Leonardo to be taken by the foot, controlled against his will. But she reminds him that their children are where they need to be. You are not a failure, Yoshi. You never were, she tells him, pulling him in close. But he suffers so, and there is hatred in his eyes. Hatred for me. My husband, that is only confusion. Our son has been under a dark and sinister spell, but you must remember, Yoshi, there is another force that is always far stronger than darkness. Love, she tells him before drifting away into the light, his paw stroking the cheek where her hand was resting. Back over with Mikey, he finishes his letter explaining everything that has happened to him and his family. But he has a plan to bring everyone back together, despite all of their problems. He brings the sticks out into the woods, starting a fire, beginning to roast some hot dogs. The smell wafts outward, catching the nose of each of his brothers and father, and slowly, they all gather around the fire. And Mikey smiles, handing out hot dogs and sticks. Raph looks over at Leo, putting his hand on his shoulder. Finally coming together. Raph stands up. He walks into the woods with his hot dog, and he offers it to Alopex, who hides in the shadows. The fox takes the offering, walking into the firelight with the brothers. And as the family gets a moment of rest, they don't see the large bird overhead, as a foot assassin states, I have found the prey. Good, stand by for reinforcements. The next day, Raph is practicing Tai Chi out in the forest, as Alopex calls to him from the woods, stating that she never thought of him as a Tai Chi type. What? Not enough blood and guts for you Foot Clan types? But she turns away, sadness in her eyes, telling him that she wasn't in it for the killing. I just wanted to belong to something, to feel important. She explains that after she was mutated, she was a mess and felt like a freak, but it changed when Shredder took her in, and she felt like she had family again. But it was all a lie. I already had a family and Shredder killed them. Like he kills everything he decides is useless to his big schemes, useless and unimportant. Raph nods at her, telling her that once he felt lost, but he eventually found his place and believes that she will too. Yeah, you do have a good thing here, Raphael. She smiles. Call me Raph, he tells her, and Alopex just smiles at him. Maybe I should call you Boring instead. Tai Chi, really? Raph smiles back, launching into an attack, sweeping at the fox's leg. She leaps over him back onto her feet, and the two begin to trade blows in a friendly sparring match. Down by the lake, Leo is staring at his katana in his hand. He has memories, flashes of fighting Raphael, and he stands moving through a few kata with the sword. But memories of Shredder appear and he drops his hands. Splinter arrives, apologizing for interrupting the training. But Leo tells him that he simply needed a break, and Splinter looks at his son, seeing the conflict within. He then turns to the waters. He informs Leo that Oroku Saki tried to make Leo into his sword, and then deemed him a failure when he wouldn't kill. In reality, you proved Sakai's lust was fully his own, and never yours. It was not you who failed, my son. It was the Shredder. Splinter explains, and Leo stands before his master and father. They continue to talk, and Splinter explains that it was through Shen, his wife, that he was able to overcome his own lack of purpose and his anger. That she was an uncannily wise and convincing woman. Your mother. She still is, he tells his son. And Splinter tells him that he knows his son is lost, but out of respect for his mother, he will not allow him to give up. And he holds out his hand, offering Leo the blue mask that he once wore. But back over with April and Casey. April is still debating what to do about the loss of StockGen, and she reveals to Casey that she has a vial of the ooze, that this ooze can heal wounds, and it can be used like a healing potion, that it can fix Master Splinter's leg or Casey's stab wound. Casey pulls over, seeing what April is getting at, and he tells her that his wounds are healing just fine and that Donnie is helping Master Splinter. He knows that she wants to give the ooze to her father and tells her that that's the right decision to make. But she looks at him wondering how she would even be able to give it to him. She's tired of keeping secrets from her parents, but doesn't feel like the Turtles and Splinter are her secrets to tell. Casey simply tells her that whatever she decides, he's with her. And back over in the barn, the brothers are eating lunch with Master Splinter and Alopex when they discuss whether it's good that StockGen is gone, and Splinter confesses that he infiltrated StockGen before their assault on the Foot. He admits that he helped old Hob because he needed Hob in the battle with Shredder. And Raph begins to disagree with Splinter's actions, but they are suddenly interrupted as the roof implodes above them. A bird of prey lands, flanked by 4 assassins. Massacre them, she orders. Who's the crazy bird? Mikey asks as he, Raph, and Donnie leap into action. Raph moving to attack the bird, but she leaps into the air, letting him fall harmlessly to the floor. Raph turns, seeing Mikey and Donnie fighting the assassins, but he also sees Alopex sneaking out of the open door, anger filling him up. I knew it! He roars as the others fight off the assassins. Splinter explains that they are Footmaster assassins, killers of the highest order. But while this is going on, Raph launches himself at Alopex, tackling her at the door. It was you! I knew it! You're still with them! But she tries to defend herself as Mikey is fighting against other assassins, asking where the bird went. But the bird stands with her assassins ready to attack, while Splinter, Donnie, and Mikey prepare themselves. The creature growls at them. You are beaten, rodent! There's no escape. Are you prepared for the slaughter? And Leonardo arrives, standing ready with his mask and twin katanas. That's funny, bird. I was gonna ask you the same thing. Back away now. The bird smiles, introducing herself as Koya, an assassin and predator. Master Shredder sends his regards, Prey. Your master, bird, not mine. Leo snarls, leaping into attack. Whoa, looks like Leo's back. Mikey shouts with a smile as they all lock into combat. The brothers all leap in, kicking and striking the assassins with their weapons. Master Splinter continuing to fight, knocking aside another assassin. While Leo and Splinter have a moment where Splinter tells him that it's good to have him back, Koya is there bearing down on them, her wings slashing out, cutting Leo's shoulder. But Leo responds by launching throwing stars, which stab into the creature's shoulder. Meanwhile, Donnie and Mikey are kicking the crap out of assassins. Not so tough without surprise on their side. Donnie notes, both their eyes widening though as one of the assassins holds up a grenade. Crap! Mikey yells as they both leap away. Outside, Raph stands over Alopex. I knew I couldn't trust you, damn foot mutt! He shouts, but the fox pushes him away, trying to escape. He grabs her, accusing her of calling the foot assassins to them, but the barn then explodes from the grenade, throwing them both into the woods. Everyone is okay as Donnie calls out to Mikey and they see the assassins, but Raph struggles to his feet, smoke swirling all around him. And from behind, one of the assassins rears up, its sharp claws reaching for the dazed turtle. But Alopex is there, kicking the foot away. I told you I wasn't foot anymore, Raphael. I thought they were here to kill me. You were wrong, she tells them, walking off into the woods with her head down. Back over at the O'Neill household, April tells her parents everything. And they all turn at the sound of the explosion from the barn. Looking out the window, the smoke curls upwards into the sky, marking the destruction. April's mother puts on her jacket, marching outside with April and Casey to the van to check on the disturbance. Over there, Mikey and Don are continuing to fight, with another assassin pulling out another grenade. But he's knocked to the ground as Raph's sai hits him in the back of the head. They team up, working together to take out the assassins one by one. Nice teamwork, guys, Donnie notes as he stands over the assassin. We ain't done yet. Keep an eye on those chowderheads. I want a piece of the stinking bird. The bird assassin, meanwhile, knocks Leo and Splinter aside, promising to strangle them on their own entrail. He then stands there ready to deliver the final blow when Raph leaps at him. That moment is when the van is pulling up outside, and Raph and Koya come exploding out of the wall, locked in combat. "You are strong, reptile! Even the strong have their weaknesses!" Koya snarls, knocking Raph aside, launching herself at April and her mother. But that's when Mikey cries out, "Yeehaw!" as he rams the motorcycle into Koya mid-air, and they both crash to the ground with Mikey rolling free. Man, that was awesome! Can I do it again? Maybe later, Mikey, Leo tells his brother as they step up to the downed Koya, his sword ready. "We got business to take care of first." "Do it, reptile! Prove who you really are!" Koya spits, staring up at the glinting metal. "Kill me!" Everyone stops, watching Leo. Moments pass, breeze blowing, soaring the leaves into the air. But Leo sheaths his weapon, taking a knee before the creature. "No, bird. I won't kill you. But you can still die if that's what you want," he tells her, pulling free one of his stars, blood beginning to pour from the wound. "Your bleeding won't stop without medical care. You have maybe an hour. Leave or die, your choice." April's mother looks at them. "Am I dreaming? Please, someone tell me I'm dreaming," as she sees giant turtles, a giant bird, a giant rat. Casey helps. "Okay, you're dreaming." And April tells him, "Casey, stop, you're not helping." Koya stands, ordering her assassins to vanish, and they move into the shadows of the woods as she warns the turtles that she will find them again. Splinter moves forward, telling his sons that they need to leave, warning April that this place is no longer safe for any of them. "April, the rat's talking to you," Beth whispers, looking at her daughter, but April explains that this is what she was talking about at Stockton and the mutations. "Wait, they're mutants?" Beth asks, standing before Splinter and his sons. "Yes, Mrs. O'Neill. My name is Splinter, and these are my sons," he tells her, apologizing to her for the destruction and the danger that they have put her in. Everyone loads up into the van, and they all agree that this isn't safe anymore. The brothers look at Splinter, asking where they're going to go, and Splinter tells them, "We will return to New York to rectify past mistakes. We have been on the run from Oroku Sakai for 2 lifetimes, and still he pursues us. Understand, my sons. As of this moment, we are through running." They pull out onto the road and head towards New York. But it's at that moment that they don't see Alopex hiding amongst the trees. Back with April's parents, April's mother mixes the ooze into her father John's coffee. Beth hands John the coffee, allowing him to take a big sip. And suddenly he feels amazing, instantly healed. He stands up from his wheelchair looking shocked, pulling his wife into a big hug, and he asks her where she got this miracle coffee. And she tells him that April gave it to her. He asks, "Where is my daughter?" And Beth tells him she's with friends. And that's it. We are back on track with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, for those of you guys who were wondering what's going on, I will link the original videos down below. That was 5 years ago, but I wanted to pick up where we left off because this is like 24 volumes and this is only volume 8. If you enjoy Turtles, let me know. I need to know. You got to give me some shots down in the comments down below. Give this video a like. We need to know that you guys want this. Otherwise, it will just kind of get shuffled off again. We're also going to be bringing back Power Rangers to see what you guys think about the return of Lord Draken over on that side. But either way, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you didn't get early access to this and wanted early access to this, make sure you go to our Patreon or our YouTube premium memberships. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.